Students, I welcome Mr. Daxesh Patel. He had been studying in California State University, Los Angeles, United States of America, and he had been in course Masters of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He had taken admission in 2015 and he had been serving at U.S.A. from last 7 years. I welcome Dakshish you on this alumni conclave talk.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me on this call. I'll try to give as much information as I can for the students that are planning to come to the States or any other abroad country for the further study. Little bit to give them about myself, what I have been doing for past 7 years. So I came in back in 2015, September, fall in California State University, Los Angeles for Masters in Mechanical Engineering. I graduated in back May 2017, and after that, I started working as manufacturing engineer for an aerospace company. After working there as 3 years, I moved myself from from manufacturing engineer to more towards the lean manufacturing, where you improvise, process improvement stuff. And I just switched the company 4 months ago, and I'm currently working as a senior continuous improvement specialist for one of the largest water bottle manufacturing company in the United States. I'm currently working as a continuous improvement specialist. What I do is I lead the cross-functional projects in the company where we can make the business cases, make the process improvement, get like cycle time reduction just in time. For example, getting the material to the floor on time, making sure that remove the list is basically the Lean Six Sigma side of thing where you go through the projects, you work with the team, cross-functional team management kind of things. So that's what I do. It's called process improvement engineer. So it's not more of a technical, it's more of analytical kind where you have to analyze the process, find the loophole in the process, why it's this defect happening, and then you have to put the root cause analysis and make the process improvement. So that's what I do basically. and and journey just keeps going on.
I appreciate that. As a mechanical engineer, you had completed your graduation over here, and for masters, you switched over to abroad. So, few questions are there. What we generally get from students.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
the basic question what they ask is why we should study abroad. If you can elaborate that thing.
If I remember back in 2014 when I graduated from LDRP, I really didn't know that if I wanted to go to the States. So I decided to look for the job. We went for the campus interview and stuff. And at that point, it's realized that getting a good pay scale and high growth that we are looking it's very difficult looking at the population and looking at the way we have our structure in India. So one of the thought I thought was that if I am and on the parallelly I was preparing for the masters in India as well. So I thought about it like why not just explore and let's go abroad and see what are the opportunities. So the first thing I would recommend and I would suggest that people if they are looking for a better opportunity, I think that's the first thing that you need to go out. Better opportunity, better lifestyle, as compared to. I'm not saying that it's bad in India, but it's something is different which is outside in India as well. So yeah, this is very broad opportunity out there, and the countries like this definitely need people as smart as Indian to work out and make them happen. So that's one of the reason I would recommend them to further study, opportunity to work, explore what they want to do, explore it. Just don't come with the mindset that I want to do this. Just explore your options, and then once you will get there, you will have the opportunity to go further. So opportunity is the first thing I would say you should go abroad for the study.
I think engineers should explore more, and they will get better
Yeah, explore.
opportunities there.
Because like I feel like when we are graduating from the college, we don't know what we really want to do. We just know it's a manufacturing engineer. Sorry, we are mechanical engineer, and we don't know what are the scopes once we graduate, right? So once you go to the abroad, you see there are different branches that comes out of the mechanical. One can be design engineer, one can be manufacturing engineer, one can be quality engineer. I mean, I'm sure I never thought there is just a mechanical engineer who will be a quality engineer in the aerospace company. So those kind of things you will learn once you go out, meet more people, talk to them, see how their structures are. So
Okay.
yeah, it definitely helps.
Thank you. And now let me ask you one more thing. That how you had started exploring means initially we don't have any idea that how we should start for study abroad. So how you had started?
I so before I reached out to the seniors that already moved to the States. The same way we have this conversation, I had one to one because I knew a couple was there. The 1 year senior from us, he moved to the States. So I talked to them. I had few relatives who were already moved to the States, not in the engineering, but they were in the medical field, and they also asked me like, come explore your options. So I started doing my own research, like what are the requirements, what should be I should be looking at and stuff. And then based on that, we I knew that what are the requirements was. So it was just the family suggestion, friends, and that's how I started
Okay.
thinking about going abroad.
Okay. How much time it takes to complete studies abroad? Whenever you take course, on which basis it is decided that I want to go for this particular course?
I would say so. First, before you decide to go for this for which course you need to do, I would say there are certain requirements for different countries. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to make one comment for the students is that first you need to decide whether you want to just go for study or you're thinking about studying and settling down in the abroad and never go back to India. So those will branch out the whole thing, because if you are only thinking about going for the study, then you will decide what are the courses you need to take, and if you want to go for the better education and go back to home, that's better, because each country has a different immigration rule, right? So if you want to stay, I would recommend each and everyone to go for the country which gives you a permanent residency really quick. And then because once you have that surety that you are never going to go back, then you will have more opportunity. But if I had the permanent residency, for example, Canada gives you a permanent residency in 4 years. So if I have that permanent residency, I can switch easily. Like I found better opportunity in 3 years. Okay, I'm gonna jump. With me, I'm not gonna jump because I can't. Company is not gonna allow me. So you need to break it down into the way whether you need to stay abroad permanently, or you just want to explore for 4 or 5 years, go back to your home country and start your own business. Then you can branch it out. Now which course to take, it's based on each individual interest, I would say. So I chose masters of mechanical engineering, but there are other for engineering is like industrial engineering, engineering management and the project management are the best field for people who are graduating from mechanical engineering. For computer, they are definitely going to do the masters in computer engineering, because it's huge in the States. But for us as a mechanical engineer, I went for the mechanical engineers in masters, but my recommendation would be industrial engineering, industrial management, engineering management, and then project management. Those are the routes for you because you already have a technical knowledge of 4 years. Doing the masters in the mechanical, sir, masters are typically between 2 years to 2.5 years.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
in which university you had applied at that time? Means acceptance of KSV was there, or they are.
You don't stick with one university as only. So you have to. So there is a website called usnews.com, and it will give you like top 100 universities. So you pick which area first you want to go in the United States. California, New York are very expensive, but the opportunities are very higher as well. For example, if you go to Texas, if you go to Chicago or something, it won't be that expensive as compared to California and New York. So you pick different region. You go to Arizona State University was good. California State University was good. Those are the ones that middle class people can afford, because in the California as well there was a university called U.S.C. or UCI. So my university was California State University, Los Angeles, and they have 23 different college in the United States: California State University, Los Angeles, Fullerton, and different kind of Los Angeles, UCLA, UCI, UCF. So those are high level, but their fees are very expensive. So my recommend is like, if you can spend, yeah, and if you have a caliber, go for those kind of university like University of California, because their acceptance requirement will be higher as well. For example, GRE score will be like 325, 330 out of 340. For California State University, it was just 300, 305. So you can, so those are the requirement you need to look up, like which university. So I would say per region, figure out 2 or 3 universities where you want to apply. Go onto their websites and they will say what are the IELTS. And so two things will be required, IELTS and TOEFL. And the second thing in the United States will be GRE. It's
Okay.
mandatory. They have
Mhm.
made it mandatory. So you, if you have decided to go to the abroad, I would recommend start preparing for those two tests when you're last year in your college. I didn't
Do
do
they
that. I
do
Sorry.
they check for the university from where you had passed, you had completed your graduation?
Yeah, they definitely requires. So there is an application process the same way we have. You apply on there, you put your all the scripts and everything, transcripts. You have to submit that all like your requirement, IELTS score and stuff. Once you get that, that's when you can go for the further. Remember, I came for you, Gaurav sir, Kunal sir, for getting the recommendation letters. Those were for those colleges because they ask for the recommendation letters from your previous college, from your professors saying, tell us about how the students were, because it's a whole different world, right? So they will need those recommendations and stuff. So they will ask for your bachelor's degree, 8 semester transcript, letter of recommendation. Make sure that your college stamps tells you that your entire engineering was in English language as the first. So those kind of documents you have to submit. So yeah, it definitely have a certain GPA requirement here, that you need to have 7, 8, you need to have 6.5 IELTS score, and you need to have 310 GRE or 305 GRE score. So if you meet all those criteria, then you can go for it.
Okay. So, means from which university you had graduated in India, that was not important, but important was your score should be good and you should be doing good in IELTS and
And
GRE.
GRE,
Okay. Okay. Thank
definitely, yeah, because my, if I would have been study, if I have studied from LDRP and somebody is from another college from GTU, my transcript is gonna be Gujarat Technological University. So it doesn't matter if I'm from Chankheda or I am from Indus College, but if it's in Nirma, it's definitely its value is different, right? Nirma, PDPU,
okay.
DDIT, so they, those are very reputed colleges, and definitely their name would make an effect for you.
Okay. Okay. Acha, how much does it cost when you target to have study abroad?
It changes college to college. I would
Okay.
say if it's a California, it's gonna be higher. If it's a Texas or Tennessee, it's gonna be a little bit lower. But average cost, I would say between for masters, not including the excluding the higher colleges, I would say somewhere between 28 to 35,000 US dollars.
Okay.
But the good thing is that students here, for example, myself, I finished my 2 years course in a year and 4 months, so that I don't have to pay the remaining fees, and that's how you save the money.
Okay.
So that's what
It
I did.
depends.
Instead of waiting and let having them tell us like, here is like each semester you need to take 3 subjects minimum. After 6 months, they will, my college would allow me to differently go and take more subjects. So what I did, instead of having two, I started taking 3 or 4 subjects,
Okay.
and then I finished my 2 years course in like a week and a half. Sorry, year and a half.
Okay.
So that's how you save money.
Means it depends purely on students how they can incorporate in that particular situation.
Yeah, it definitely depends on students. It definitely depends on the university that you are applying for. The one that I said, U.S.C, it's very expensive. UCI, it's very expensive. But compared to those, if you go to California State University, it's not going to be expensive. But yeah, of course, the content, the teaching methods, all things will be different in both the universities. So you have to pick which what which one you want to go.
Okay. Which difficulties you had faced when you switch from here to there?
Language
Like,
barriers.
Okay.
That's the first thing everybody will face. Even though we studied back in India for 4 years in English, but we never communicated in English, right? We always talk to in our own language. But once you get here, you cannot talk unless you are with your friends. But once you are communicating with somebody else outside or from your own group, you definitely need to start having that communication manners. I would say like how you approach people, how you talk to people, those kind of things were difficult. And it's not like when you go to the college in India, you are in a comfort zone. Here, it's the whole different environment. You have like all different students from different part of the world and all study together. So creating the network, meeting them, going out, understanding each other's culture. So those kind of it's I would not say difficulty, but interesting things to know. But
Okay.
yeah, like language, but it's I wouldn't say it's a problem. Once you get into those conversations, you will get to learn. Like I never speak in English back in India, right?
Okay.
7 years and I only speak in English these days.
Very good. Uh, Acha, anything else if you want to add that a student must know when he plan to study abroad or she plan to study abroad?
Student, if I mean they if they have made up mind to go abroad and study, they should start preparing in the last year of their bachelor's. I wouldn't. I waited 1 year, so I graduated in 2015. Then I started doing IELTS preparation and GRE preparation in 1 year.
Okay.
But if they decided to go, just start preparing when you are in the final year. It doesn't take that long, right? IELTS is not like big. It's just a language. You just need to practice for 2 months and a half. The what will take more time is GRE because then it's higher and very tough. So spend some time over.
For students who wants to go abroad.
Yeah, you ask for the financial aid, and that's where somewhere I wanted to add. Yes, there are education loan that banks in India provide. I also took it, and most of the students in India takes it. So there would be an it's not that you have to pay the entire fee for 2 years in the first semester. So your first year semester fee is not going to be 25,000 USD. It's going to be 5,000 USD. So you don't need the whole amount at the same time. You once you get here, then you can start working. You can make money, and then you can pay off. So that's another option. One more thing I would like to point out for the student is each country has a different rule once they get on the student visa and the work permission. So in Canada for office, for example, once you go to Canada, as soon as you land into the Canada, you can start working anywhere you want. That's not the case for the United States. So if I'm on the student visa, I can only work on campus job. I cannot work on the off campus at all. So that's when the finance I didn't know. I thought I'll go there, I'll go to the college in the weekdays, weekends I'll go to work in the stores, make money and pay off my college fees. Once I got here, I didn't know that's not the case. The case was that you can only work on campus, not off campus.
Okay.
Yeah, struggle is there, but it's better.
At last, I want to close the conversation. Are you satisfied with your decision of moving ahead,
Moving
going
to
abroad, doing?
yes, I am.
Okay.
In a single word, yes, I am. Those initial years were definitely tough, but once you graduate, you apply for the job, you have a communication barrier. So those kind of struggles helps you grow, I would say.
Okay.
Like you become more responsible and focused. If I would be in India, I wouldn't be responsible as much I am today
So
because I had
student.
my dad to take care of myself, right?
Okay. Okay.
What will I live during my where will I
I would like.
live during my study abroad?
Uh,
That's another thing. So the way we are everywhere in this world, right? So there is any college will around will have residential like complexes where all the students are living together. So we in 7 years I'm still sharing my room with my friends. So I don't live alone. That's how you
okay.
save money, right?
Yeah.
When you cannot not you couldn't make it. So you can definitely reach out, and each colleges have also uh, a site on their college website where you can ask for the accommodation and stuff, and they can also guide you for a nearest residence. But I'm sure a student who are decided to go, they have somebody in the states they know, and we'll figure out. I stayed with my friends, and that's how we just once you get here, and they will guide you where to go and stuff. It just works out.
Thank you very much, Dakshish, for sparing your time